welcome back, y'all. Episode 97. Obviously, Warriors Lakers series closed out. One and only, just me again. I mean, we've mentioned it before. It's probably going to stay that way. Anyways, let's get into it. Warriors Lakers series. So a lot happened in that last game. Game 6. Warriors came out strong and then fell right on their face. And with that, the game ended. It felt like after the third quarter. They weren't in it. The bench was awful. Curry was the only one doing anything. Clay only scored like 8 points, and I don't know. I think it was just an off series for them. I think they were. Steve Kerr said they were maxed out. That it wasn't. They weren't built for the finals. Couldn't really say a whole lot on that because I mean, if the coach is saying that the players wouldn't have been able to make it to another series, and I think their issue is Curry can't be the only one. Wiggins did all right, but those were like the only two players that did decent besides Looney. Other than that, Draymond was all right. He had a decent game 5, and Draymond did his job pretty well, but Clay wasn't putting up points, and then Jordan Poole coming off the bench was terrible. Yeah, not too many guys coming off the bench were putting up support for the team, and it showed a lot. And I think for them moving forward, based on how that series went, size is an issue for the Warriors, so obviously they have to address that. And moving forward, the Lakers are playing the Denver Nuggets. Lakers look good. Um, the only thing is that there is ways to stop them. I mean, the Warriors showed it. They don't defend the perimeter very well, but when the Warriors weren't making anything, they didn't have to defend it. When the players that normally make shots weren't making shots, the Lakers had nothing to worry about. I mean, they took them 6. They could have took them 7, you know. But as you can see, the series ended the way it did. I was shout out Jay. He blasted me on social media because I said the Warriors were gonna take them 7. Um, and that game 6 was not what I was wanting out of them. I knew after the third it was done. I didn't even bother to watch because they were already down damn near 30. They're down 27 most of the quarter. They got it down to like 15, got it down to like 10, and then it just went downhill again come fourth quarter. And you could just tell they couldn't keep it in reach. And I would just like to say, Warriors, I think I mean, they've already addressed Clay's probably. They're asking Clay to take a pay cut. I mean, I think it's fair. He had terrible playoffs. Jordan Poole. That I don't know. I think there's going to be some trades. I think they're going to trade for size. I think they're tired of being that small team. They have to have slightly different game plan. I think moving forward, a lot of teams are outsizing them, and obviously, like you can outscore them here and there, but like in the long haul, 7-game series, you got to have some size. I think Looney needs some help. There's not much help for Looney. He's the only one with size on that team, and there's no one to really kind of like level out the playing field with him. And Draymond and Curry and Clay are in their probably last couple years in the league. I mean, just because of age alone. And Clay's had really bad injuries. Dre is due to probably leave the Warriors based on what happened before the season even started. They say that there's a chemistry issue in the postseason, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, terrible postseason for the Warriors. Probably, I wouldn't say the worst. I mean, they were the most entertaining team to watch. But I think they lacked consistency, and they have to address that in the offseason. People got to work on their shots. And, I mean, the Warriors are probably going to be right back in it. playoffs wise. Just because they have the pieces still. They might lose one or two, but they're definitely going to land somebody coming this offseason. I think they're going to land somebody big too. Big news: Suns fired their coach after 4 years of having him. I don't know if I agree with that. I think they have to address their lineup a little bit. I would try to keep KD. I'd try to keep Booker. I think Chris Paul. It's time for him to get on out of Phoenix. I mean, I think Chris Paul's career is kind of over. He can't ever stay healthy, and it's become an issue for them. And we'll see what it looks like moving forward for them. But honestly, I don't see it really working out for Chris Paul staying in Phoenix. I think the Clippers might even be an issue next year as well. Come next year, if they can stay healthy, Clippers are one of those teams. They can stay healthy, they're probably going to win their games. They're probably going to win their games, and they're probably going to be in the postseason, which they had the most unfortunate postseason. They had no Paul George. They had no Kawhi. The only person out there was Westbrook, but that team looked nasty when Westbrook first got there, and they were like, "Ooh, finals favorites." That's what the word was going around. I mean, now I think Denver's got it. I think Denver's going to go to the finals. Honestly, I don't see Lakers getting past them. Denver has a lockdown defense, and Jamal and Joker are going off in this postseason. And my finals prediction, I think, is going to be Denver Nuggets versus Boston. Boston's looking really good. I think Boston's going to be right back in it. They lost to the Warriors last year, but I think their chances of winning this year, because I think they're the more athletic, more physical, and better defending team. I mean, they just held up the Sixers to 88 points in the game 7. I think if the Sixers would have came out on top in that game, I think whoever's in the East right now is going to win the finals. They just have the more put together teams, and it's been said all season long, whoever's coming out of the East is winning it all. And it's starting to show, I think, because they said the only team that would possibly make a difference is Golden State, and because the Golden State is so similar to those teams. But those teams, I would say, have depth. And depth is what we're going to jump into a little bit more. The Warriors' depth was by far probably their worst bench that they've ever had in the postseason. People got to realize that was people were like, that's basically the same team, same starting five. Yes, same bench. No, they lost all their role players. Iggy, I don't think played at all in the postseason. They don't have the same Iguodala that they used to have. They had a lot of other big names coming off the bench that could have been starters elsewhere that are on other teams now. So Warriors had a much sizable, more physical bench last year, and I think it showed this year, letting too many of them go. They did get Gary Payton back through the process, but Gary Payton had to sit out for quite some time before he got healthy again. But Gary Payton, I think, is a key piece to bring back. He's a great role player, great bench player they need to bring back. I would say, the reason why I say the Lakers won't win their next series is this piece alone. Anthony Davis is very injury prone. They are nothing without Anthony Davis in the lineup with LeBron. I mean, LeBron has won games without Anthony Davis, but they definitely are going to need Anthony Davis in this next series to stay healthy. Now, they did finally beat the Warriors in 6, but can they beat a healthy Denver Nuggets that are dominating in the playoffs right now? Like, they're outscoring teams, like kind of like how the Lakers are. But I think there's more defense in the paint in this upcoming series. More sizable team. I mean, they have probably the MVP that they're going against as well. So we'll have to see in this upcoming series. Boston is playing Miami. I think honestly, Miami's going to put up a good fight. Miami's issue is some consistency issues, but they pulled through. And if they could stay healthy and have the guys stay on the court, I think they can have a very, very, very solid what do you call it? Postseason run. Miami, mind you, has been been in the talks for quite some time. Y'all have to realize Miami might be the team to beat, but them being the 8 seed and kind of struggling their way up into the playoffs. I mean, obviously, everyone knows injuries. Who can stay healthy? Boston looks ready. They look alive. They look. I mean, Curry's Game 7 record got broken in less than a week by Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is out for a revenge run. I believe they would prefer the Warriors again because they knew the Warriors weren't the same exact, very similar Warriors, but not the same this year. And I mean, everyone was a little on the edge to see what the Warriors were capable of, and here we are, not capable of making it past the second round. Anyways, other than that, we have some things to talk about. Um, NBA drama going on. Names right now. Ja Morant messed up bad, really, really bad. He got a indefinite suspension, and it's not looking too good for Ja Morant. His career just might be over, honestly. Very, very um very strong possibility he may not be in the NBA no more. And I'm just kind of looking over the headlines real quick. They're talking about there's not much going on headline wise. Other than that, yeah, I mean Jason Tatum dropped 51 in Game 7, beat Curry's record by a point in less than a week. I mean, hey, gotta give it to him. Other than that, let's check out some other things out. Just trying to remember some things. Let's see. Ah, yes. That's something we can talk about right now. The what do you call it? CBS signed Matt Ryan to be an NFL analyst. I think it's cool. I think he fits the role pretty well, and that's pretty much it for the NFL. Let's bring up MLB. We'll bring up the standings. Talk about some teams here going into the beginning of the season so far. Creeping up on the So Oakland A's are officially going to be Las Vegas A's. I don't know when that news broke, but that finally broke out. And it looks like Reds dropped their City Connects. I think they look okay. I like it. I like the color scheme they use. Is simple. I like the look. I like this City Connect thing that teams are doing. Some are bad, some are good. Let's see what else. No major transactions or anything like that. Um, yeah, Bryce Harper gets into it with the Rockies, and I thought it was funny. He basically said, "You guys are a losing organization. Why do you have so much to say?" And I mean, they're not wrong. It's been like that for quite some time for the Colorado Rockies. I think maybe they got a little wake up call from that. Maybe not. But I think the shocking thing is the American League East is the best division in baseball, in my personal opinion. Last place in that division is Boston Red Sox, but they're 22-19. Oh, excuse me. Only eight and a half games back from first. Tampa Bay looks unstoppable. Can they maintain this this record? Can they maintain being 31-11 and winning that many games compared to losing throughout the rest of the season? I would say if they can stay healthy, yes. They look incredible. Their offense is off the charts. Their pitching is incredible. Mind you, they're paying little to nothing for their pitching staff. And it's like laughing in some team's face that have dropped millions upon millions for some of these pitchers. For example, the Mets. The Mets have dropped an extreme amount of money for the two all-star pitchers that they have that are constantly hurt. Um, Texas Rangers dropped an extreme amount of money, but it's kind of showing. I mean, I think they're out without DeGrom again, but they're 25-15 in their division. Minnesota picked it up a little bit. They're 6-4 in their last 10. They're still in first in their division, but that division terrible. Everyone below Minnesota Twins is a losing team. And that's how easy it is for the American League Central. American League West is a highly competitive right now, besides Oakland being probably the worst team in the MLB right now, 9-33. I mean, they're damn near knocked out of the playoffs in the first couple months of the season. That's embarrassing. Embarrassing. Seattle's looking halfway decent, 20-20. Angels are 21-20. This is the best I've seen the Angels in a long time. Hopefully they can maintain this. Hopefully they can finally make a playoff run with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. This is probably Ohtani's last year in Los Angeles, so hopefully they can make a run. Houston's 21-19, and Texas Rangers 25-15. Atlanta Braves are looking good too, 25-15. Phillies look halfway decent. They're picking it up. They just got Harper back. They're looking pretty decent. Harper's almost fully recovered from Tommy John. He's wearing that arm brace on and off. I think they'll be all right. Nationals look terrible. Miami looks all right. And the New York Mets are not as good as what they look like on paper. 20-21. I think this is sad for the Mets if they're 20-21 at this point in the season with the lineup that they have. It's not looking too hot for the Mets. Milwaukee, National League Central, Milwaukee's in top dog, 23-17. They don't look half bad. Pittsburgh is still a shocker. They're maintaining They're maintaining it slightly. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They're 22-19. They're still maintaining a winning record. They are doing a lot better than what a lot of people projected them to do. Chicago Cubs look about right where they should be. Cincinnati Reds are kind of right where they should be. And the Cardinals are a bit of a shocker right now. 16-25. They're not doing too hot. It's not looking good. And yeah, I think the Cardinals probably going to need to reface. I mean, they're picking it up this past week. They're not looking too bad in their last 10 games, but they got to maintain that 6-4 for quite some time to kind of get back to where they were. National League West, Dodgers obviously on top, 26-15. They picked it up in the last 10 games, 5-game winning streak as well. Arizona is actually kind of surprising. I think what their thing is they have a lot of depth and they're not looking too bad. And I think finally their farm system is showing up and they're starting to look like a decent team again. It's been long time since they've looked any good. San Diego is kind of disappointing right now. I mean, they're 19-22. They're not looking that great. And, for all that money that they're paying these guys, the Padres are not looking good. It's still early. They're maintaining a halfway decent record. My Giants don't look that great. I think if they end up with a losing season this year and they don't make a playoff appearance at all, there's a slight possibility that the Giants are probably going to fire some people because they're just not looking too hot. Colorado Rockies are not looking too hot either. We'll see how the season progresses, how these teams end up looking. Other than that, guys, this pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Be your friend, tell a friend. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, comment, like, all that jazz. Thank you guys. See you guys next time.